Welcome in to News and Views with Tom Lamprecht. The stories you've heard and the ones you need to hear.
The Biden administration,
it is a fiasco.
Shut down the border.
Code red.
The bill is passed.
To raising the debt ceiling.
Sweeping democratic reform.
The reckless taxing and spending.
Body found in Wyoming is Gabby Petito.
Restore our checks and balances and protect our elections.
So many controversial changes.
Stay tuned for updates.
Your life, your values, your voice. This is News and Views with Tom Lamprecht on Talk 96.3 and 103.7.
All right, welcome in. It is News and Views for a Wednesday, a rainy Wednesday in eastern North Carolina. A lot to talk about today. New articles of impeachment against the embattled Joe Biden were introduced yesterday by Ohio Republican Bob Gibbs over Biden's botched withdrawal from Afghanistan, the border crisis, his efforts to continue federal eviction moratorium despite the warnings from the Supreme Court. Quote, I take this seriously. I don't think it's haphazard. I'm not trying to get media attention for myself, Gibbs told the Washington Examiner. He's done so much damage to this country in less than 9 months, which is really scary. He's not capable of being a commander-in-chief. That's obvious by the actions since day one when he took the presidency back in January. Maybe something like this makes the White House think twice before they do some of this nonsense. You know, he is going to get this Gibbs, and there was three others that signed on to this. He is going to get all kinds of negative pushback from the mainstream media. And yet, the Dems, what did they impeach Donald Trump on?
A lie.
A lie. A telephone call that they mischaracterized and just made stuff up about it. And the media ran with it. And as a result, we went through the impeachment. Obviously, it didn't come to anything. But while they thought that was wonderfully, the media thought that was wonderfully profound, that they were going off after Donald Trump, as you said, based on a lie. Watch that same mainstream media ridicule this. I mean, they're his. The ignoring of a Supreme Court decision by itself ought to be an impeachable offense. I mean, this is not. I mean, this wasn't a mistake. This was a deliberate effort to try to thwart a decision by the Supreme Court.
Yeah. Imagine if Trump had done that.
Oh.
I mean, goodness,
they'd be going nuts. Speaking of the mainstream media, there was an excellent article on the Fox News website today. And I will give Fox kudos, but I also give Politico kudos, I guess, for finally admitting their major screw-up from a year ago. Now, it's going to be interesting to see if any of these other media outlets have a mea culpa. Nearly a year after the Hunter Biden laptop story sparked a political firestorm, Politico confirmed some of the material first reported by the New York Post in the final weeks of the presidential election. You know, the New York Post really ought to be given kudos. I mean, the New York Post is constantly releasing stories. They don't get as much credit as they ought to. But, you know, when this Hunter Biden laptop story, they were really, even more so than Fox News and a number of these other media outlets, the New York Post was the organization carrying the banner on this Hunter Biden story from a year ago. Politico Playbook published reporting from correspondent Ben Schreckinger's new book, The Bidens, which delved into the emails that surfaced in the explosive reporting that was ultimately suppressed by big tech. Quote, a person who had independent access to Hunter Biden's emails confirmed he did receive a 2015 email from a Ukrainian businessman thanking him for the chance to meet Joe Biden. The same goes for a 2017 email, which a proposed equity breakdown of a venture with Chinese energy executives include a line 10 held by H, Hunter, for the big guy, that would be Joe. The playbook wrote emails released by a Swedish government agency also match emails in the leaked cache, and two people who corresponded with Hunter Biden confirmed emails from the cache were genuine. Politico added, while the leak contains genuine files, it remains possible that fake material has been slipped in. So they're still trying to cover their butt. But think back to October 2020, when Donald Trump was saying, hey, this is a real deal. The Hunter Biden laptop, you remember, came out in the latter weeks just before the election.
This is in October, I believe, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. This is a rather big shift for Politico. Their headline in 2020, October 2020, quote, Hunter Biden's story is Russian disinformation, dozens of former intel officials say. It goes on to say more than 50 former senior intelligence officials who insisted that the published emails from the laptop had all the classic earmarks of a Russian information operation.
Is this the same intel people that helped push the Russian collusion story on Trump?
Of course, bingo. I mean, some of the signatories to this letter: John Brennan, James Clapper, Michael Hayden, Leon Panetta, Jeremy Bash. All of them have worked as analysts on MSNBC or CNN and CNN. The unsubstantiated claims from the former intel officials were elevated throughout the media, including CNN, MSNBC, and the Huffington Post. Washington Post columnist Greg Sargent quickly declared the day after the New York Post first began reporting on the alleged contents of the Hunter Biden's laptop that it was, quote, Trump's fake new Biden scandal, calling the allegations laughably weak. He went on to say Trump's last-ditch hope to cast vague pall of corruption over Biden, but plainly the mere fact of covering smears and disinformation, even negatively, itself rewards their purveyors. The same day, the New York Times ran a story reporting Russian disinformation, claiming that President Donald Trump has warned that Russians were using his personal attorney, Rudy Giuliani, who was given the laptop before providing its contents to the press, to spread false claims about the Bidens. NPR public editor Kelly McBride addressed a listener's question about the news outlet blackout of Hunter Biden at the time, claiming the Post reporting had many, many red flags, including its potential ties to Russia. NPR apparently determined that the assertions don't amount to much. We don't want to waste our time on stories that are not really stories. We don't want to waste the listeners' and the readers' time on stories that are pure distractions, the NPR manager said. Unlike NPR, CNN wasn't really as transparent with its efforts to spike the Hunter Biden story. Last week, Project Veritas leaked audio recordings of conference calls featuring CNN's top executives of the Biden concerning the Biden scandal. Quote, obviously, we're not going with the New York Post story right now on Hunter Biden, CNN political director David Chalian said during the conference call on October the 14th of last year. Jeff Zucker of CNN told his staff, so I don't think that we should be repeating unsubstantiated smears just because the right-wing media suggests that we should. I mean, I've given you all this stuff because publication after publication, media outlet after media outlet continued to just downplay it, lying through their teeth, making stuff up. Perhaps the worst example was on 60 Minutes. This is cut one, Clark. The 60 Minutes, Leslie Stahl, she laughs at the president, the sitting president of the United States, when he came out and gave these claims in a 60-minute interview. She scoffs it off, and guess what? Donald Trump, once again, was right.
I wish you would interview Joe Biden like you interview me. It would be so good. You know what?
You like this, I thought. I thought you liked
I don't mind it. But when I watch him walk out of a store, and he's walking with ice cream, and the question the media asks him, what kind of ice cream, what flavor ice cream do you have? And he's in the midst of a scandal.
He's not.
And he's taking... Of course he is,
no.
Leslie.
Come on.
Of course he is. It's the biggest, second biggest scandal. So, the biggest scandal was when they spied on my campaign. They spied on my campaign.
There's
Leslie.
no real evidence of that.
Of course there is.
No.
It's all over the place. Leslie,
Sir,
they spied on my campaign and they got caught.
Can I say something? You know, this is 60 Minutes. And we can't put on things we can't verify.
You won't put it on because it's bad for Biden.
We can't put on things we can't verify.
Leslie, they spied on my campaign.
Well, we can't verify
It's been totally verified.
No.
It's been, just go down and get the papers. They spied on my campaign. They got caught.
No.
And then they went much further than that, and they got caught. And you will see that, Leslie, and you know that, but you just don't want to put it on the air.
As a matter of fact, I don't know that.
The number of decades that 60 Minutes has been on, there are hundreds of examples of 60 Minutes putting stuff on that they couldn't verify.
I mean, they've had to publicly recant stories before where they didn't do their homework.
Now, will Leslie Stahl come out? Now that Politico has come out and said, look, we've checked this out. It was all true. We've got verified from this Swedish organization. They've confirmed that they've got the same copies of the same emails. We're confirming this stuff is correct. Do you think Leslie Stahl's going to come out with a apology?
No, she won't mention. But, you know, two things that pop up in my mind reading that article there is, you know, the messaging from all these sources was exactly the same.
Bingo.
And that's, I mean, the 20 different publications, what's the chance of the wording and their messaging being exactly the same if they're not reading off the same sheet of music provided by the Democrats?
Yep.
And number two, they talk about right-wing sources. I follow this stuff. The New York Post was incredibly critical of Donald Trump during the during the primaries.
Yeah.
And you know, even during his presidency, I mean, they had tons of articles critical of Trump. I think the New York Post is one of the few that's getting it right, to be honest with you.
By the way, you know what? When it comes to journalistic integrity, they might be a little bit embarrassed, but not really, because they're doing backflips. They're high-fiving each other and saying, you know what? Okay, they caught us lying, as we always do, but who gives a hoot? Because we were successful in defeating Donald Trump. Yeah. And they're high-fiving each other right now. They could care less about journalistic integrity.
And what's so scary about it, during all this time, multiple people within the Justice Department, including the FBI, had an open case regarding this.
Yeah.
And that we didn't find that out 2 months later. So,
and look, and again, there's I only read you about half of the examples. I mean, other examples from MSNBC, other examples from Jake Tapper, other examples from MSNBC, Katie Tur, not Turd, MSNBC,
right.
NBC. I mean, just it goes on and on and on. And listen, these people, I mean, right now you see how our country is just in turmoil. These people are responsible. Yeah. This is what they wanted. They lied to the American people. There is no journalism amongst these people. You're right. They take the talking points of the Democratic Party, the DNC, and they'll say, okay, how high do you want us to jump?
And one you mentioned, NPR, that's National Public Radio,
yeah,
correct?
Let's defund it.
Yeah,
Can we please defund it? You want to defund the police? How about defunding NPR?
How much are we funding NPR?
A lot.
Yeah, it's just incredible. It's really incredible.
Let's go ahead and take a time out. Lots more to talk about. We've got some interesting stuff related to Jeffrey Epstein and Bill Gates and Prince Andrew, all that making news today, along with the Biden fiasco on the border. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Break the chain. Eat local. Tiebreakers.
Hey, this is Hank Hinton back here at Full Service Flooring in Winterville. I'm here today with Corey Little, who's the operations manager here at Full Service Flooring. Corey's been here 6 months, but you've been in construction a long time. Tell us about what you do here at Full Service Flooring.
Yeah, I got over here about 6 months ago. I've been in construction for, like I said, a little over 20 years, and I've known Tim for a long time now, and he's brought me over here to see what new kind of things I can bring to the store and to our customers. And I'm in charge of scheduling, and I don't know what else. I'm in charge of everything. It seems like we work together as a team and try to pull it all together. I might do a measure one day and do a commercial floor the next day, but we just kind of all work together and pull it all together at one time.
So what's new in flooring? What is the hot new thing?
The hot new thing's LVP or LVT, depending on what you're looking for, which look you're looking for. It's a waterproof product. It's absolutely fantastic. You can't really beat it.
A lot cheaper than hardwoods.
It is definitely a cost-effective alternative to hardwoods, yes, sir.
So, Corey, how is business right now?
And business is good. Despite the pandemic, we're still seeing a lot of new customers in the store, and we get an opportunity to introduce our products in a lot of different situations right now.
Corey, you've got a lot of experience in the construction industry. How is that helping you here with people, helping people with flooring here at Full Service Flooring?
Sure. I try to take the experiences that I've gained over my time in construction to help apply that to the flooring, whether it be with what the structure is made out of, the subfloor that we're going over top of, or maybe even just how it coordinates with your kitchen cabinets in construction or in your bathroom and how the tub and everything all ties together.
And a customer can just come here and see you anytime?
Absolutely. We're here 6 days a week, and we just love to see a new customer in here anytime. They can always call us and schedule something with us so we can make sure we have our time allotted for them.
Corey, thank you so much. That's Corey Little here at Full Service Flooring. Come see these guys. They're on Tilco Drive in Winterville, 756-9308 and fullserviceflooring.com.
This is your Drive at 5 and ENC with Tom Lamprecht. Welcome back to News and Views on Talk 96.3 and 103.7.
Again, Joe Biden would be happy about this. Today is National Ice Cream Cone Day.
Come on, man.
That's about the only thing he can do well is eat ice cream cones.
Come on.
What if there's some medical reason behind that or something? Maybe they put his meds in there.
Well, they
sort of like a dog. You put your dog's meds in his peanut butter, so the dog will take his meds on time.
I was going to say, what do they call the elderly state, the second childhood? And maybe he's going through his second childhood. Give me some more ice cream. Taking a look at your weather forecast, a chance of showers and thunderstorms tonight. Mostly cloudy if it's not raining. Yeah, it's going to be coming down. Chance of rain, 70%. Possibly between a quarter and a half inch of new rain, and then more on Thursday. Again, a 70% chance of rain. Low tonight, around 71. High tomorrow, only 77. And then tomorrow night, you'll be happy with this, Benny, a low of around 56 degrees and mostly clear. Friday should be gorgeous, sunny with a high of 76. Weather brought to you by our friends at the Ironwood Golf and Country Club, voted best golf course in Greenville 2 years in a row. Ironwood boasts an 18-hole Lee Trevino design course, full-service dining and outdoor pool, tennis, and more. Our newly renovated 15,000 square foot clubhouse is the perfect place to make new traditions with your family for a limited time. Join Ironwood, pay zero initiation fees. Give them a call, 252-752-4653. Find out what makes Ironwood the best of Greenville. So the Democrats in the House have passed a bill to raise the debt ceiling through 2022 and temporarily fund the government until December the 3rd. But the measure has to pass the Senate. You were just saying you saw Tom Tillis on Neil Cavuto, and he is saying what Mitch McConnell has said, that, you know what, there's no Republicans going to vote for this. And basically, I mean, my gosh, can we have a budget? The Democrats get in charge and there's no budget. I mean, all the years that Harry Reid was there in the Senate, we never had a budget. And year after year after year after year, we had to raise the debt ceiling. And the Democrats always said the same thing. Oh, we won't pay our bills. People will go hungry. The people around the world they'll default. No one will get their Social Security. And what happens every time they do this? Federal workers get a 2-week vacation.
Oh, yeah.
Then they get all the back pay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Here's an idea. Don't pay the federal workers back pay.
Starting with Congress.
Yeah, bingo. And then, I mean, pass that bill. Why do I say that? Not that I'm trying to squeeze the federal workers, but because if they had all the federal workforce chasing Congress saying, do what is right, pass a bill that allows us to continue without having to lose our jobs and lose our pay, there'd be a lot more pressure on Congress. It's a joke right now. But right now, The Republicans sound like they're going to stand firm. But listen, get ready for all the liberals in the media to start crying alligator tears about how this is going to be a major catastrophe. Our allies around the world won't be able to trust us. We won't be able to pay our debt. We won't be able to take care of old people. Social Security will default. It never has happened before, and it won't happen this time. Mm-hmm. Now, it will happen eventually, by the way. If we keep doing what we're doing, eventually it will happen, that the whole system will collapse.
David Walker, that we've had on at least a couple of times, former Comptroller General under Bush 1, Clinton, and Bush 2, he says we should just get rid of the debt ceiling and base it on a percentage of GDP, of gross domestic product, which, But
where would we be right now if we were based on that?
Oh, if it was based on a percentage of GDP, we'd be
in trouble.
We'd cut spending. We'd
have to.
We'd cut. It doesn't matter about cutting spending if you don't reform entitlements. We've talked about that before, but it just gets worse and worse and worse. And this constant changing the debt ceiling, I mean, that's just
it's a joke.
It's just fodder, and it's just talk where both parties can point fingers at the other one and still not do anything about the problem.
And I don't know where David would stay on this. I remember the economist that we'd have on often from ECU he was not for having a balanced budget amendment. He would say the same thing David said, just base it on GDP. The problem is we don't. They need to have a gun to their head. They need to not that they ever follow the law when they don't like it, but that's why I'm for a balanced budget amendment, is because the people in Congress do not have the fortitude nor the financial responsibility to balance the budget. Mm-hmm. Again, our kids and our grandkids.
Well, if you think about it from a business perspective or personal household budget perspective, the level of debt you have, should be relative to the volume of your business, or if it's your if it's your personal finances,
whatever your bank account is,
and whatever income you're making to support that debt. But the problem is our GDP is not supporting our debt. We're paying our bills. We're just printing more money. That's how we pay our bills.
I used to think George W. Bush. I didn't agree with everything he did, but I thought he was basically a conservative. I'm really beginning to wonder. Is he just losing it? Is he upset that Donald Trump is against Liz Cheney, and he was also against Jeb, and so therefore he's going to try to get back at Donald Trump? What I'm saying is former President George W. Bush is going to support Liz Cheney, throwing a fundraiser and his fundraising efforts to Liz Cheney. Of course, she's got a race for her House seat. She's got a primary challenger. Donald Trump has come out and endorsed the challenger. The Wall Street Journal reported Wednesday Bush's first campaign event for the 2020 midterms will be a fundraiser to support Cheney. Trump endorsed Wyoming property rights attorney Harriet Hegman to challenge Cheney earlier this month. This is going to be interesting. I think that Bush will be applauded by the Republican rhinos, the Republican establishment, the Republican elites. I think the populace is going to be very disappointed with George W. Bush.
I always liked George Bush as I thought he was a good moral man. I know the left painted him as this, warmonger, liar, and all this kind of stuff. I think he was a good moral man. Number one, Dick Cheney's been a friend of the family forever.
Right. And
plus, Donald Trump was, he was very critical on low energy Jeb, I think he called him.
Oh yeah.
But I never really thought George Bush was a conservative. He was kind of conservative on security issues, national defense type things. But
he was sort
liberal.
Of a hero after 9/11.
Yeah, he was pretty liberal on some things, and there was a lot of things I didn't agree with him on.
Yeah.
But I think he was a good man.
It's really interesting. The next time you see Karl Rove on Fox News and you think he's a conservative, which, again, Karl Rove, not so much. The Elmer Fudd of Fox News. he is also going to be one of the co-hosts for Liz Cheney's fundraiser.
Well, they love some Dick Cheney now.
Oh, yeah.
But I think she's toast. I just think she is. But she'll have a boatload of money to spend, though.
That'll be a very interesting race to watch. Now, I think Wyoming's a very conservative state. I think it's going to be an interesting race to watch, though, because that will sort of be a bellwether for what will come in 2 years with Donald Trump. The Free Beacon is reporting the Biden administration has appointed a left-wing attorney who has publicly endorsed sanctuary laws for illegal aliens to serve as Immigration and Custom Enforcement, ICE, top prosecutor, according to an internal memo obtained by the Washington Free Beacon. Again, every time Biden makes a decision, it's the wrong decision. ICE announced the hiring of Carrie Doyle, a longtime partner at the Boston-based law firm of Graves & Doyle, to become the agency's new principal legal advisor, a role that oversees 25 field locations and 1,250 attorneys. The office serves as ICE's representative in all removal proceedings and litigates cases against illegal aliens and terrorists. This ought to scare the Pajubis. Every time we get a headline, it ought to scare the Pajubis out of the American citizenry.
Well, my Democrat friends will not own up and admit this, but it's been like that really since Bill Clinton's administration, since his administration was the last Democrat administration. But every single appointment out of the Democrats, they're extreme left. There's no arguing that point from the Obama administration and now the Biden administration.
It is the Biden administration.
They never have anyone middle of the road, not even close middle of the road, not even close to center left. They are far left every single appointment they make.
Now, the Democrats, they want to get rid of bail. They want to release people. And they are releasing people. There's another story here just talking about the fact that out of the Daily Mail and PJ Media, last weekend there was 14,000 Haitian refugees under that bridge down in Del Rio, Texas. Now it's down to 8,000. Well, it's confirmed that there was probably about maybe 1,200
in Durham.
1,200 flown back to Haiti. Maybe that number's high. So where's the other 5,000?
Those 1,200 probably
7,000.
Those 1,200 probably are the only ones that are armed.
And do we know that they've been flown back to Haiti?
Yeah.
We're just taking their word for it. But if they were, is that just a dog and pony show from the Biden administration saying, "Oh, look, we told you the border's closed and what we're doing"? Again, people really ought to be having their eyes wide open to say, okay, where are these people being shipped? I promise you, at the end of the day, if the Biden administration has anything to do with it, they're going to ship these people to states that are primarily red or almost purple, sort of like North Carolina. Mm-hmm. I would not be surprised at all to learn there's people being shipped to North Carolina. But again, this guy being Carrie Doyle, basically in charge over ICE prosecutions. Why don't they just shut down all the prosecutors then? Because they're not going to do anything. If anything, they'll prosecute, like these Texas ranchers that are complaining. They'll turn around and prosecute the rancher for complaining. That's how these guys operate.
Well, and unless it's changed in the last couple of years, Texas has the Castle Doctrine, and the Castle Doctrine in Texas is for your property, not just your home, but your property. And some of these ranchers, if they feel threatened,
the buckshot comes out. Huh?
Yeah, you better look out. But the sad thing about this is, meanwhile, the average American citizen, and I hate to say it, Democrat, Republican, or Independent, are too preoccupied watching funny dog videos on YouTube to pay attention to this.
Yeah.
And America's going down around us.
Yep. Let's take a time out. Lots more to talk about. Stay with us. Tom and Benny, be right back.
Your trade is in high demand. That means your trade-in value has never been hotter. To Toyota now.
We'll pay more for your trade than ever before. Get cash on the spot, even if you don't buy from us. At Greenville Toyota, where our volume saves you money.
Air Service is back at Pitt Greenville Airport, offering safe, clean facilities and flights from American Airlines. That means the short commute, quicker lines, and better prices that get you where you're going fast and easy. See it for yourself. There's great things inside at Pitt Greenville Airport.
Sawyer's Fun Park in Winterville is now open. With over 40,000 square feet of family fun, daily money-saving deals, and a full-service restaurant, Sawyer's Fun Park is guaranteed to have something the whole family will love. Test your ninja skills on our 2-story obstacle course or head over to one of our 5 rock walls and race your friends to the top. And when you've worked up an appetite in our laser tag arena or our one-of-a-kind ropes course, grab a table over at the restaurant and try our world-famous Southern Monster Fries. Reserve your spot today at SawyersFunPark.com and come join in on the fun.
My name is Dr. Neeti Armistead, Chief Medical Officer for Vidant Health. The following simple steps will help keep you and your community safe. Stay home as much as possible, wear a mask when out in public, avoid large gatherings, practice social distancing, and wash hands often. It's also important not to delay needed care. Vidant has taken important steps to provide you and your family with a safe environment. Learn more about COVID-19 and Vidant's response. Call 252-847-8000 or visit vidanthealth.com/COVID-19.
Acre Station Meat Farm, along with Lane Angus Beef, bring you Farm to Fork Beef.
Stock your freezers now with affordable beef boxes, just in time for the grilling season.
Farm to Fork Beef brings quality local beef to your family. From your traditional butcher shop, Acre Station Meat Farm. Come on down to Acre Station Meat Farm and find out why we're #1 in fresh cuts and friendly service.
Acre Station Meat Farm, Highway 32 North, Pinetown.
Air Service is back at Pitt Greenville Airport, offering safe, clean facilities and flights from American Airlines. That means the short commute, quicker lines, and better prices that get you where you're going fast and easy. See it for yourself. There's great things inside at Pitt Greenville Airport.
Ride shotgun with your 5 o'clock drive.
Well, the drive home should be a delight.
This is Tom Lamprecht with more news and views on Talk 96.3 and 103.7.
Welcome back in. Tom, Benny, and Clark, and you for the ride home. Microsoft co-founder and vaccine guru and population control zealot Bill Gates was interviewed by PBS Judy Woodruff. Judy's not looking too good these days. Just saying. But they had Bill Gates on the NewsHour last night. And as you, I will give her kudos. She brought up the Jeffrey Epstein issue.
He didn't kill himself, by the way.
No. Well, that's one of the questions I wish Judy had asked Bill. Was he involved in that at all? It got rather weird as creepy Bill Gates would not answer any of the questions. As he talked, there was some obviously, and if you're watching on Facebook or Cable 7, you can see the video. Clark's got it up on the screen. Notice how he's constantly playing with his ring finger, squirming quite a bit. And it just got weird. Here's just the part of the questioning when Judy asks him about his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein.
It was reported at that time that you had a number of meetings with Jeffrey Epstein, who, when you met him 10 years ago, he was convicted of soliciting prostitution from minors. What did you know about him when you were meeting with him, as you've said yourself, in the hopes of raising money?
I had dinners with him. I regret doing that. He had relationships with people he said, would give to global health, which is a interest I have. Not nearly enough philanthropy goes in that direction. Those meetings were a mistake. They didn't result in what he purported, and I cut them off. That goes back a long time ago now. So there's nothing new on that.
It was reported that you continue to meet with him over several years, and that, in other words, a number of meetings. What did you do when you found out about his background?
Well, I've said I regretted having those dinners, and there's absolutely nothing new on that.
Is there a lesson for you, for anyone else looking at this?
Well, he's dead, so in general, you always have to be careful. I'm very proud of what we've done in philanthropy. Very proud of the work of the foundation. That's what I get up every day and focus on.
Is there a lesson in this for you or for anyone else looking at this? Well, he's dead.
Well, maybe he's saying the lesson is
don't die.
If the lesson is if somebody's got some bad information on you, make sure he's dead.
Yeah.
Dead meat. Bill Gates was obviously not prepared to be hit with that.
But now I'll hand it to Judy Woodruff that she brought up that issue. But follow-up questions. I mean, Now, I know he was not going to answer it truthfully, but it would have been interesting to see his nonverbals. Well, did you have anything to do with his death? Or, let me just be blunt. Did you ever participate with any of the young women that, because, Prince Andrew has been accused, or
not go that far. Just say, were you ever with Bill Gates and he was around some women where you might have questioned their age? That's not making an accusation towards him. I'd like to see him squirm on that question.
Bingo. Now, remember, though, there's a lot of people out there speculating that it was the relationship, including the New York Times, that it was Bill Gates' relationship with Jeffrey Epstein is why Melinda Gates filed for divorce. Mm. So, you know what? Would your wife ask you for a divorce just because you were trying to raise money through someone that had a not so pristine image in public? And that's an understatement when it comes to Jeffrey Epstein.
Well, the reports on their relationship for years, his wife was aware of his relationship with his former girlfriend.
And that was weird.
That's really weird. But
which, by the way, they did out in the Outer Banks.
Yeah. For her to all of a sudden, out of nowhere, this happened out of nowhere, that tells me there's some there.
Yeah.
And it probably has something to do with young girls.
That girlfriend, we did a story on that a long, long time ago, but several years ago. But, yeah, Bill Gates every year would get together with an ex-girlfriend, and they'd spend a long weekend, or I don't know how long it was at least a long weekend. They'd run a place out on the Outer Banks of North Carolina, just the two of them. How would your wife think about that?
I don't think that'd get approved in my house. Nah.
It'd be a permanent vacation.
Yeah. Might be some Lorena Bobbitt stuff going on.
Just everybody calm down. Speaking of Jeffrey Epstein, Prince Andrew has been officially served with legal documents in a civil assault case launched against him in New York by accuser Virginia Roberts Guffrey. This, according to Fox News. Guffrey's attorney provided photos of FedEx receipts confirming the delivery of the lawsuit to the Duke of York's attorney, Andrew Brettler, of the law firm Lavely and Singer, pursuant to the court order of September 17th, 2021. Plaintiff's counsel retrieved 2 executed requests for service abroad of judicial documents from the court. Plaintiff's counsel then caused the request to be delivered to the designated central authority of the United Kingdom of the courts on behalf by FedEx, along with 2 requests to the complaint summons. So Guffrey is saying that Prince Andrew did the horizontal shuffle with her, that she was forced to have a sexual relationship with Prince Andrew back when she was 17 years old. I'm not sure how many years ago that was. I mean, it was quite a while ago, I believe. I think it was like, she's probably in her late 30s now, so it was probably 20-some years ago. But Prince Andrew is probably not. Yeah, there's the picture if you're watching on Facebook or Cable 7.
So was she supposed to be 17 at that time, I guess?
She was 17 at that time, I believe. Yeah. So anyway, Prince Andrew is not going to be.
Well, they certainly haven't talked about Prince Andrew too much over in the royal family, have they? He's disappeared.
Yeah.
He's out on the farm.
Let's try to push him. I was going to say push him under the covers. That's probably not a good way to put it. And we're going to take another time out. Stay with us. More news and views coming up.
Your trade is in high demand. That means your trade-in value has never been hotter. Get to Greenville Toyota now. We'll pay more for your trade than ever before. Get cash on the spot, even if you don't buy from us. At Greenville Toyota, where our volume saves you money.
Air Service is back at Pitt Greenville Airport, offering safe, clean facilities and flights from American Airlines. That means the short commute, quicker lines, and better prices that get you where you're going fast and easy. See it for yourself. There's great things inside at Pitt Greenville Airport.
Sawyer's Fun Park in Winterville is now open. With over 40,000 square feet of family fun, daily money-saving deals, and a full-service restaurant, Sawyer's Fun Park is guaranteed to have something the whole family will love. Test your ninja skills on our 2-story obstacle course or head over to one of our 5 rock walls and race your friends to the top. And when you've worked up an appetite in our laser tag arena or our one-of-a-kind ropes course, grab a table over at the restaurant and try our world-famous Southern Monster Fries. Reserve your spot today at SawyersFunPark.com and come join in on the fun.
My name is Dr. Neeti Armistead, Chief Medical Officer for Vidant Health. The following simple steps will help keep you and your community safe. Stay home as much as possible, wear a mask when out in public, avoid large gatherings, practice social distancing, and wash hands often. It's also important not to delay needed care. Vidant has taken important steps to provide you and your family with a safe environment. Learn more about COVID-19 and Vidant's response. Call 252-847-8000 or visit vidanthealth.com/COVID-19.
Acre Station Meat Farm, along with Lane Angus Beef, bring you farm to fork beef.
Stock your freezers now with affordable beef boxes just in time for the grilling season.
Farm to fork beef brings quality local beef to your family. From your traditional butcher shop, Acre Station Meat Farm. Come on down to Acre Station Meat Farm and find out why we're #1 in fresh cuts and friendly service.
Acre Station Meat Farm, Highway 32 North, Pinetown.
Air Service is back at Pitt Greenville Airport, offering safe, clean facilities and flights from American Airlines. That means the short commute, quicker lines, and better prices that get you where you're going fast.
This is your Drive at 5 and ENC with Tom Lamprecht. Welcome back to News and Views on Talk 96.3 and 103.7.
Welcome back in. Interesting story that sort of slipped under the radar. The Christian Post reported earlier this week, last Friday, the Biden administration came out and they wanted to combat the Texas abortion law, which we've talked about before. The Texas abortion law basically says that once a fetal heartbeat is detected, you can't have an abortion. And generally speaking, that's at 6 weeks. And on Friday, the Biden administration came out with a statement basically saying, hey, all you folks down, and Javier Becerra, the HHS secretary, who is super hyped up on making sure that everybody has as much access to as many abortions. Whenever you want the abortion, you're going to have the abortion. He came out and said, hey, abortionists, doctors, everybody else that is pro-abortion, the Biden administration, Javier Becerra and HHS, quote, we have your backs. In other words, ignore this law. If you get in trouble, we have your backs. That came out last Friday. Over the weekend, Alan Braid, an abortion doctor in San Antonio, came out. This is like a day or two after Javier Becerra said what he said. He came out and said, oh, by the way, let me just make this public. On September the 6th, I violated the Texas law. I performed an abortion. He came out and said, I acted because I had a duty to care to this patient, as I do for all patients, and because this patient has a fundamental right to receive care. And anyway, I fully understand the consequences. Okay, well, let's see what happens. I haven't heard any follow-up from the Attorney General down in Texas, Paxton, but my hunch is he's going to deal with this very seriously.
I obviously don't know the specifics of this abortion case that this guy, what's this guy's name, this doctor?
Alan Braid.
But just listen to his language. It's that whole abortion is women's health care.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
yeah,
it's right out of the Democrats' dictionary.
Yep, yeah. nothing in there at all about the baby.
No,
but reproductive rights, women's health care. The Western Journal is reporting a meteorologist by the name of Carl Bonak signed off last week after being fired for refusing to take the COVID-19 vaccine. Bonak has served as weatherman for Michigan's WLUC-TV for 33 years, a gray television station, which, by the way, is the same company that owns WITN. Bonak, as he was leaving, quoted Lou Gehrig, I'm the luckiest man on the face of the earth because I had a dream as a kid to be a weatherman. That dream came true, but a cloud has fallen over the land of the free, he wrote. The ending of our freedom, our liberties, under the guise of a pandemic is very disturbing to me, he said. I just wanted to go about my business, live and let live, keep my mouth shut. But this act by the federal government through corporate America has brought me to a crossroads. Our way of life, our freedom and liberty is collapsing before our eyes. He said personal freedom should be paramount. Many of you have taken one of these injections, and that's your right. It's also my right to choose other medical options. I feel are right for me. I have authority over my body, as the Democrats like to say when it comes to abortion. Bonak then laid out why he refused the vaccine. Quote, I have decided against the vaccine option first and foremost because the manufacturers of these injections have absolutely no liability if injury or death occurs after the shot. And by the way, that has happened. I'm sorry to say it, it has happened. Mm-hmm. I ask myself, why would I buy brakes for my vehicle if the brake company had no liability if the brakes failed? No. So I will certainly not allow a medicine in my body from a company that does not stand behind the product, he wrote. It's time to wake up to what's occurring here in America and across the world. We're being bludgeoned with fear, I believe, in an effort to control us. Bingo. Doctors, virologists, epidemiologists who post facts contradicting the official line, accepted narrative regarding COVID are being censored. Some are losing their jobs. It's time to honor those who fought and served. For me, I honor them by saying enough. I have the right to choose. We all do. If we do nothing, we lose that right.
Well, the boosters are coming. They'll be required pretty soon.
And here's the thing I don't get. The boosters, the Pfizer booster, was only approved for people over 65. They're too questionable for younger people.
And people with immune problems, I think, maybe immunity problems.
But I don't get that. I mean, if there's a danger to somebody in their 20s, why would you say, well, go ahead? I mean, I realize perhaps their rationale is, okay, it's more risky, but the chances if you get COVID and dying is more risky. But wow.
I guess it just says they hadn't done enough research on it.
And so we're just going to push it through.
Mm-hmm. But, I mean, we've had 18 months. I mean, where's the CDC's research?
Well, I'd heard somebody say, it was interesting that normally at this point, you're still testing the drugs. Well, the guinea pigs are the people that are getting the vaccine, and it's. I mean, again, if you want to go out and get the vaccine, that's your call. I agree with this gentleman who lost his job. That's your call, but don't force me to. And again, could we please have more people step up to? It's starting to happen, but could we have more people step up to the plate and say, "Look, I've had COVID, I've got the natural immunity, I don't need the vaccine." I don't understand why that is not being fully embraced by the government.
And I don't understand why they're continuing to encourage testing. Well, how about tests for the antibodies?
Yeah.
How about doing the blood test that shows the antibodies test as well as if you've got COVID? Do it at the same time, and so we'll have a better feel for exactly how many people are vaccinated and have natural immunity.
Interesting story in the Carolina Journal. Didn't have time to really go into detail on this, but a good article by Dallas Woodhouse talking about how the NAACP is backing an effort to add more than 50,000 felons to North Carolina's voting rolls. Now, in North Carolina, once a felon has paid their debt to society, literally and figuratively, they can be restored, their voting rights can be restored. The NAACP right now is saying, no, we want everybody, even those felons who are serving time in jail, to be able to vote, and they're taking this to the North Carolina Supreme Court. We'll follow that and see where that goes.
Open the borders and open up the voter roll.
Yep.
That's what the Dems want.
Hey, thanks for being with us. We'll do it again on Thursday. Play a little political trivia. We'll see you then. Bye-bye, everybody.
All right.
We're on location at Fabric and Home Furnishings, and I'm back with my friend Lisa Pendry. And Lisa's been telling me about all the great renovations that have been going on here in the store, and I've been looking around, and it looks fantastic. Tell us what you've done here.
Well, we've knocked some walls down, we've painted, we've added some new vendors, lots of new exciting things going on. So we're making room for everybody to get what they need to transform their homes.
Looks fantastic in here. Last time we talked, you were saying that you were able to deliver a lot faster than most other furniture stores. Is that still the case?
It is. It's changed a little bit, but we're still looking at around 8 to 10 week delivery, and we do sell our floor samples right off the floor.
All right, we always say that Fabric and Home Furnishings is more than just a fabric store, so tell us what the more is all about. What when people come in, what should they expect?
Well, we love to get to know our customers. I have the best crew I've ever had, and everybody on my team is an interior designer. So we offer in-home design service, which we always have, but now they can each come out to your home after they work with you in here, figure out what's going on in your residence or your commercial property to pull it together and help you make everything beautiful.
You got great folks here.
I do.
I can tell you, I haven't gotten to know them. It's like a family when you come in here, and everybody gets along well, and you can tell that these guys and gals really know what they're talking about when it comes to interior design.
They do, and that's really what makes us different. We offer complete in-home design service. We don't charge a by-the-hour fee. It's a flat one-time fee. We work with you in here, in your home, in your business, and help pull everything together.
All right, it's more than just a fabric store. Fabric and Home Furnishings in Arlington Village. Come see this lady. She's fantastic. Fabric and Home Furnishings. Come see the renovations here in Arlington Village. And thank you for the visit today.
Thank you, Henry.
All right, you got to come see what they've done in the store here on Arlington Boulevard in Arlington Village.